Hello, I'm Richard Mize, real estate editor for the Oklahoman and Oklahoman.com, talking today with Craig Tucker. He's the managing broker and office specialist at Price Edwards & Company Commercial Real Estate, and he's just released his year-end office market summary.
Yes, sir.
You wrote in there, basically, that in 2019, downtown did kind of okay, suburbs not so okay.
Yeah.
Explain.
Really, downtown actually had some positive absorption, kind of held steady. The suburbs, particularly the north submarket, were hit hard by some relocations. Some of those downtown, Ackerman, McQueen, vacated about 60,000 square feet at Reliance Tower, which they were the original tenant at Reliance Tower, the old Penn Bank Tower when it was built in the early 80s. They moved downtown, so you saw that change. You saw some more accurate reporting at Central Park, which has had a lot of Williams pipeline space, WPX space available for sublease that they never really reported.
Not quite on the books.
Yeah, but they've done a buyout out of that lease. Now the landlord's got it available. So, really down north submarket had over 200,000 square feet of negative absorption. If it hadn't been for that, the market did okay. But I will say there's a lot of movement in the market right now. There's a lot of people changing. It's kind of musical chairs, really. There's a lot of activity, but I don't know that it's necessarily growth.
What happened in the north? I mean, that's a big number. In this set of numbers, that's a big number.
Yeah, again, it's Ackerman. It's a more accurate reporting. Central Park. You had some vacancy at what used to be known as One Benham Place. Benham actually moved to Quail Springs, so it's now no longer One Benham Place. It's 9400 North Broadway.
Notice the name change.
Yeah, and State Farm also relocated from that building, also to Quail Springs. So there's a little bit of a shift going on.
Looking ahead now, you said that downtown is going to become even more energy affected.
Yeah.
By the changes going on.
Not dependent, but affected. They're affected in that you've got a lot of space. You've got really the full Sandridge Towers available at nearly 500,000 square feet. You've got the space that Enable vacated at Leadership Square, which was 150,000 square feet. Leadership Square has never really been a very energy dependent building, had a lot of attorneys, but they did have 150,000 square feet of Enable.
That's a big chunk of energy.
Yeah, that affects anybody. That's 20% of that building.
Right.
And you've still got space that's sublet by Devon at 499 West Sheridan. That space is out there. It was intended to be energy space. It was never occupied.
Right. So it's kind of a hangover.
Yeah, exactly.
I
don't know. I've never had one.
It's actually that's a technical term, isn't it? It really is, though. You also said 2020 will be critical. That's a big word. Why will 2020 be critical?
Well,
across the market?
It's a little different than 14 and 15 when we had the energy fall off. Energy companies operate differently now. They don't need as many people, so I don't really see there being a rebound in the office market if there is much of a rebound in the energy industry. They don't need as many people. It's just a different ball game.
Different thing. Producing more oil than ever.
Yeah, with fewer people,
with less equipment and fewer people,
more highly efficient. Yeah, but so we've got to backfill that office space with something other than energy companies, and now that's going to be largely dependent on the local chamber, the state chamber. We've got to attract new jobs and new industry, which they've been doing a great job of. But a lot of industries anymore just don't use office space like they used to. And energy companies use a lot of office space, frankly.
Sure. It'll be something we haven't even imagined yet, perhaps.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what you always hope for. We didn't see that coming.
Yeah, but I would estimate the energy companies in multi-tenant buildings, not just the ones they own, like Devon and Chesapeake, but in multi-tenant buildings, they probably occupy 15% of that space. And when you get out in the suburban markets like the north and northwest, they may occupy 25 to 30% of those buildings.
And that's part, again, of what's going on is that they're vacating their own space.
Yeah, and there may be more space comes online.
What's the one at Chesapeake?
Chesapeake Building 13.
Building 13? How inappropriate, or how appropriately?
Lucky number 13.
Lucky number 13. That's right. It's standing.
Yeah,
and it's not the only one.
No.
Sandridge is there too.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Are they ready to market those as multi-tenant, or do they calling on you guys? I mean,
no, Sandridge. If you occupy a full floor, you can go over there and lease a floor. It doesn't have to be somebody take the whole building. Same with Chesapeake, although that building probably works better for a single tenant, it can be divided. You could lease floor by floor, but they don't really want to divide floors.
So it's not good news. It's not the worst news.
We're just kind of slogging along and trying
still.
to keep our head above water. Yeah.
All right. Anything to add?
I don't think so. I will say there's a lot of activity. I feel good that we're not going to lose much more ground. Again, you never know
Right.
when the other shoe's going to drop. But right now I feel pretty
This
good.
election year, especially.
Lots of crazy
knows?
things happen
Yeah.
in election years. So you know that.
All right. Thank you, Craig. Craig Tucker, managing broker and office specialist with Price Edwards and Company. Thank you. I'm
you,
Richard
Richard.
Mize, real estate editor for the Oklahoman and Oklahoman.com.